how's it hanging? Last week I was talking about the fact that I was going to start watching different Sentai series and kind of reviewing each one as I watch them. And last week I was talking about Kaizuka Sentai Kyuranger, and just 2 days ago I went and finished Uchu Sentai Kyuranger. I gotta say, when I first watched Kyuranger, I assumed, not gonna lie, and this is probably a really stupid assumption, but I assumed that no other series was going to be as good as Kyuranger because the fact that I loved it so much. There was like literally very little to nothing that I didn't like about the series, and I was like, okay, the other series is going to have something I don't like about them, but so far no, because I literally went and watched Kyuranger. There's 48 episodes and I watched every single episode. I finished the last episode 2 days ago. Oh my god, I literally have nothing wrong with it. The one thing that people are all complaining about that I've seen is the fact that they don't like the character of Lucky at the start, or what he says in the show. So basically, Lucky is the Kyuranger Red, and he is basically the leader of the team. Well, in a way he's the leader, but also he's not, because technically the leader of the team is the commander. That character is like, his whole being is, he looks to the bright side of everything, and he's always trying to stay positive, and because of that, a load of good fortune comes to him, and he basically, people always question like, how is he so lucky? It's because of the fact that he's always so positive, and because of the fact that he's positive and he tries to look at the bright side of everything, it kind of all been drawn to him. And a lot of people don't like the character because he's annoying, and because the fact he keeps on saying "Yosha Lucky." In a way, I kind of see how people would not like it, because the fact he keeps saying it over and over and over again. But in all honesty, I totally get it, because for me alone, I'm a very positive person. I'm optimistic. I'm trying to always look at the bright side of things. I try to stay positive, and like, I don't let things get me down. If basically something goes wrong, I always look at the bright side of everything and say, okay, this may have happened, but the thing is, something else could have happened worse, and instead this happened, and it's better than that. And I'm always doing that. I'm always looking at the bright side and kind of focusing on that only, because if you focus on like the kind of bad things, then more bad things are going to happen to you, and that's how I kind of feel. And it's all about the law of attraction. Like, if there's people who are skeptics of that and think it's a lot of bullshit, I believe in it completely, and I have seen it actually happening. Two people I know, literally, Lucky is the perfect example of the law of attraction. Like, he's always so positive, and every time like a load of bad things happen, he focuses on once the smallest good thing. Because of that, so many good things happen. Like, he always gets knocked down, defeated, but he always gets back up, and something good happens in the end. And that's what I love about Lucky, and that's why I relate to him so much, and how I basically feel like that's why he's my favourite character in that show. Yeah, that's why I feel like that I love Lucky. And the fact is, ever since I watched it, every time something good happens, I always go, "Yosha Lucky!" Yeah, I'm gonna probably annoy a lot of people when I start saying that when I'm around friends, but I don't care. I freaking love saying it. Also, I tend to start to saying "Suge," which is basically wow or awesome in Japanese, and I just love saying it whenever something good happens, so I'm just like really happy about that. I love when like different shows you watch and it actually makes you kind of learn different like words and stuff like that, and it's so good. But yeah, I get why people don't like Lucky, but in the most part I don't get it at all, because I freaking love the entire show. Like, there was not one thing I didn't like. In all honesty, I always try to, I don't like being biased and say, okay, everything's gonna be brilliant at this, because every show has its flaws, but in all honesty, I didn't see any flaws. There's certain characters I kept wondering why they kept bringing back, but then in the overall, when you kind of find out why they keep coming back, you can't understand why. Just when I was watching it, it's just so good. Like basically, the whole plot of Kyuranger is this alien race who kind of rule over the universe with like an iron fist called the Jack Matter, and their leader is Dun Naga, and like this all-powered being. Basically, he took over the entire universe. In the future, the Kyurangers are the saviors of the universe, and like they have so many different key elements like these, which represent each constellation. Like, this is the Leo system. Most people know them as the Zodiac Rangers, or as the kind of proper term for it is kind of the Constellation Rangers, that you could say, because like they're not actually Zodiac. All the different key elements they have all represent a different constellation. Kyuranger is such a good show, because like there's so many moments of angst, joy, and there's times you cry, and there's times you go like, oh, what? There's so many like emotions in this show. So if you want to go and watch Kyuranger, I recommend it because it is such a good show. It just has so much character development, and just you love all the characters. I'm going to kind of talk about each Kyuranger. So basically, Lucky, well, I already kind of talked about Lucky, and it's the fact that his character, also, if for anyone who wants to watch Kyuranger, who hasn't watched it yet, some of this kind of stuff I talk about is going to be like the whole backstory of each character. So if you don't want to know about it, if you want to be kind of fresh-minded, probably best not to watch this part. I will probably put a kind of number up here, what time to go on to kind of go past this whole character development type thing. So yeah. Lucky is the character. Basically his whole backstory is he tries to look on an optimistic side because the fact is his dad, who was the king of the Leo system, and that means that Lucky is the prince. So his father told him that even in the darkest of times, try to look on the bright side and look to like a positive future. When things look darkest, you gotta look to your future and like how your future's gonna become, not stay in that moment of darkness. Like after like that, like a load of shit happened where Lucky was separated from his family. Like he was very unlucky at that time, and that's why he tried to turn his luck around and become more positive and try to look on the bright side of everything, which that's why he keeps on saying, "You're so lucky!" And I just love that so much. But the original characters who were in the Kyuranger group is Hami and Sparta. They were like the originals, and also Champa. Hami is the Green Kyuranger, or the Shinobi Green. She lives on a planet which was attacked by Jack Matter. She was able to tell her village that the Jack Matter was attacking her village, and they were able to get her whole like village out and save them and stop Jack Matter before they actually got and like destroyed them all. Basically she went off and she found out that she owned the green Kyutama, which I haven't got right now, but I will in the near future because I've actually got quite a few Kyutamas. Kyutamas are the Q globes, like this one here. That's Shishu Red. I've actually got quite a few of them here, but anyway, I love Akami so much. At first she didn't like Lucky because the fact that he was always so positive and never really took anything seriously, and like she didn't like that. She took a lot of stuff seriously. He grows on her, and like she finds the whole like how to believe in Lucky and all this stuff, and I love her so much. Then we get to Sparta, which I love Sparta. Sparta is probably my second favorite character in the show because Sparta is a guy who he's a cook and he wants to be the best cook in the universe. I love him. Like, he's always like so happy, and he's like always like, grazie! So this is his Kyutama. And also I get like major bi vibes from Sparta. Like at first I thought he was gay because Sparta was like, always like so dramatic, and he's always so like he's very camp at like quite a few episodes. And the thing is, for the longest time I thought he was gay, but the thing is later on in the series it kind of shows that he actually cares about the character Raptor, who I'll talk about in a minute. So I think that he's not actually gay, or he could be gay, and the thing is Raptor he likes as a kind of a sister-brother relationship. He didn't really develop anything in the whole like Kyuranger. He is so cool, and I love Sparta so much. He's just so funny, and he always makes loads of food. He always makes loads of like every time he kind of talks about a battle or something, he always references to like a dish or a kind of a chef-based like idiom or metaphor. I just love it so much. Then we have Champa, where Champ is basically the black Kyuranger, and he is a bull like android robot, whatever you want to call him. He's from the Taurus system, naturally, bull Taurus. He is so cool, and I love Champa as well. He's funny, and he has a personality. He's got more personality than Troy does in Super Mega Force. So, but he cares about justice and all that. And his maker was killed, and he tried to find out who killed him, which he kind of finds out that it was the Orange Kyuranger's brother that killed him. At first he thought it was Stinger that killed him, who's the Orange Kyuranger. Then we get to Garu, which is the Lupin Blue, who is the Kyuranger Blue. That is his Kyutama there, and that is Champa's. So yeah, Garu is like, I love Garu because he started out as this coward who doesn't want to fight because his entire race was killed by Jack Matter, and he was the last surviving one. He always saw himself as unlucky. Then he met up with Lucky, and he basically put his life into Lucky's hands and cared about Lucky and would do anything to help him. He kind of had a connection with him, let's just say that. He always like believes in Lucky, and whenever like there was one point where Lucky was feeling down and he didn't believe in his own luck, and then suddenly Garu was the one that kind of convinced him otherwise and just kind of helped him along, which I love about that. So the next character I'm going to talk about is this character here, which is Stinger. And Stinger is so cool because when Stinger first came into the show, he was this like lone wolf character, didn't want to be part of the team, but as time goes on, he like instead of being a lone wolf, he joins the team and becomes better of a teammate, and then he joins up and becomes, when he heads off with Champa, they actually go and become friends and partners, and you see them develop a connection with each other as well, and they have like a real close friendship. And that's what I love about Stinger and Champ, because there's one point which breaks my heart where Stinger's about to be murdered and Champ jumps in the way and throws him to the side and gets killed himself. I was not ready for it. My heart was broken. The next character I'll be talking about is Balance, which is the other android, and he's like over 1,000 years old. He joins the team with the character Naga, who is the silver Kyuranger. This guy's all about like focused on like treasure hunting at the start, and he cares about robbing people and all this. He's basically like a Luca from Gokaiger. Balance is really cool, and like he's funny, and like I love just seeing him with Naga, because the fact that they're so close and they're such an awesome duo, and they've been working together ever since the start. Next character is Naga, who basically Naga is from the planet where all their emotions was taken away, because the fact that they saw that emotions can cause war and they want to get rid of it, so everyone in the race had their emotions removed. But the thing is, he wants to leave with Balance to kind of discover emotions and all that. Just how it starts and kind of how it goes on. Naga has a lot of character development. He reminds me very much of Data from the Star Trek Next Generation, because he wants to have emotions and wants to feel what everyone else is feeling, but he can't. In a way, he kind of forces himself to feel emotions and stuff, so maybe he can actually go and he starts to feel like slight emotions, then something bad happens and he gets turned evil, and he's actually evil for quite a bit in the show, and that really breaks your heart. Like, it was actually, that was spoiled for me, but in all honesty, it didn't really ruin too much for me for the show, because there was a lot in the show that kind of revealed a lot, and I'm just like, what the hell? Naga is like a real good character, and he just like, you see the development of him originally having no emotions, just trying to smile and freaking everyone out, and then basically as you kind of see him at the end, he actually can smile, he can cry, he can get angry and all this stuff, but I love so much because it's just character development is so good. Then we get to this character right here, which is Raptor, a Kyuranger Pink. Basically she's a robot that wants to work along with the Kyurangers, but since she's an android, they all think she can't fight, so she should just stay out, because there's one point where she comes and attacks almost her badly. Lucky comes along, actually convinces her that her dream to fight along the Kyurangers is a great dream. She shouldn't give up on that, and I love that so much, because then she becomes a Pink Kyuranger, who is also not this Spiderdudevlogs. She has like a connection with the ship Orion, because she sees it as her uncle, because basically there was one point where Sparta and her was trapped in this like black hole or time warp or something like that. Everything shuts down, they can't get away, but then suddenly the Orion kind of pulls them out and saves them, and she kind of sees that the Orion actually has a life of its own. The thing is, no one believes her, but then they find out that it actually has a life of its own. And gotta say, the part where they see the first Orion actually dies and like blows up trying to save the Kyurangers just breaks my heart. Then we go on to the character, the Draco Commander, which I love so much. Like, he is hilarious. Like, basically, he always makes jokes and all that, and every single time he forms the retail, he always goes, oh, now a dragon, but with style. He's supposed to be the leader of the group. He's always so, like, jokey, and, like, quite a few times no one takes him seriously. And they take him seriously when the time is right, but then there's times he just makes, he's like real serious, and suddenly he just makes a stupid remark and everyone goes, oh! And it's just so funny. I love the Commander so much. At first he becomes the purple Kyuranger, but it's unstable and he can't use it for too long. But then he gets his power, and actually it powers up, and then he is able to become the purple Kyuranger. And also just his dance for that Q tama 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 Q Q Q Q tama 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 Q Q Q. It's just so good. The second last character is this one right here, who is Kotoro. He wants to fight along with the Kyurangers, but the thing is, he's a kid. They don't want him to fight because they think that he's gonna get hurt but he wants to fight along, and then eventually he finds the Ursa Minor Kyuranger Blue, which is actually given to him by the ghost of Draco Commander's, like, basically he was the general, he's like, kind of the leader of the rebellion, and then he gets killed saving Draco Commander. But yeah, like, I love Kotoro because he's so good, because there's one episode where they have to turn some things because it's the planet is like a giant cube tama, and they have to get like a time traveling cube tama, and then he turns his key, and then he sees his mother, and it's like, cause his mother died when he was younger, and it's just like, it's such an emotional episode for Kotoro. You just love him so much because he's funny and he's cool, and also he leaves for a while because he goes and trains at the Rebellion Academy, and he's just the best. You can't hate him. He has a brotherly relationship with Stinger, and it's just, I love seeing them all so much. Then the last Kyuranger is this one right here, is Tsurugi, who is the he was actually, in a way, he was the first Kyuranger, because back in the past he was the president of Earth, and he went up into space and got frozen in space, and then the Phoenix Kyutama kept him alive because he was immortal after taking it, and he was the one who first defeated Don Aramage, and he defeated him back in the past, but like the whole like plot is the fact that he wasn't defeated back in the past, but then he comes back with, he was placed inside a ship which was called Argo. At first he was acting like a dick because the fact that he's like, he calls himself a legend and he likes to work alone, just like work with the Kyurangers. But as with every Kyuranger, Lucky changes his mind and tells him that, let me be your shield, if you work with me we'll make a brand new legend and we can work together and defeat Don Aramage. And it's just so cool. I just love Tsurugi and the rest of the Rangers with them. And yeah, also can I just say I love the outro dance so much because it's so funny. And it's just like, when every time I watch the ending, I'm always just doing the dance like, oh Oh, also, I forgot to say, since I became addicted to the show like Gokaiger, I went and got the Morpher, which is known as the Caesar Blaster, and I just love it so much. It's just like, it's so cool. And then I also have the Q-Tama as well. Love it so much, and like, I just love this. Start it! It's just so cool. I love this Caesar Blaster. Now actually the handle should be out here in the show, that's what it was, but it's just so good. I just love the Caesar Blaster. Also, I went and got, this actually was a lot cheaper than I thought it was gonna be, but I got the Kureno! It just, I love the Kureno. The fun fact, this is actually my very first Megazord, because I never had a Megazord before this. Better, it's probably known as a Mecha in Sentai series. Yeah, just when I got this recently, I was like, yes, my very first Megazord or Mecha, and it's so cool! But yeah, it's just so good. And yeah, you should go watch it. It is a good Sentai series. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week with another video. Bye! See you later.